10 mind-blowing psychology facts that will change how you think. Hey there, friends. Ever find yourself wondering why we think and act the way we do? Like, why do you suddenly start seeing the same car everywhere after you buy one? Or why you feel like everyone is watching you when you walk into a room? Well, grab a comfy seat because today we're diving into some seriously fascinating stuff. I'm about to share 10 mind-blowing psychology facts that'll completely change the way you look at yourself and the world around you. Trust me, these aren't just fun trivia. They might just help you understand your own mind a little better and maybe even improve your daily life. So, without further ado, let's kick things off with something you've probably experienced but never knew had a name. The Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, frequency illusion. Alright, first up is the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, also known as the frequency illusion. Sounds fancy, right? But you've definitely experienced it. Have you ever learned a new word and then suddenly, that word is popping up everywhere? Or you buy a new pair of shoes, and now it feels like everyone's wearing them? What's happening here isn't magic or some weird coincidence. It's your brain's way of paying attention to things that are relevant to you. When you're exposed to something new, your mind starts to recognize it more in your environment. It's not that it suddenly appeared more often, you've just become more aware of it. This shows how selective our attention can be. Our brains filter out a massive amount of information every day, focusing on what's important to us personally. Pretty wild, huh? The Pygmalion effect. Moving on to the Pygmalion effect. Now, this one's all about expectations, both others and our own. Essentially, it means that higher expectations lead to better performance. Let me explain. There was this classic study where teachers were told that certain students were intellectual bloomers, who were expected to excel academically. The catch? These students were chosen at random. But guess what? By the end of the year, those students showed significant improvement. Why did this happen? Because the teachers' positive expectations influenced how they interacted with these students. They gave them more encouragement, more challenging work, and more feedback. The students, in turn, rose to meet those expectations. So, the takeaway here is powerful. Believing in someone's potential can actually help unlock it. And the same goes for how you view yourself. Set those expectations high. Cognitive dissonance. Have you ever felt that uncomfortable tension when your actions don't match your beliefs? Like when you know eating junk food isn't healthy, but you find yourself elbow deep in a bag of chips at midnight. That's cognitive dissonance in action. Cognitive dissonance is the mental discomfort we experience when we hold two or more contradictory beliefs, values, or when our behavior doesn't align with our beliefs. Our brains crave consistency, so when there's a mismatch, we feel uneasy. To ease this discomfort, we might change our behavior, adjust our beliefs, or rationalize our actions. Recognizing when cognitive dissonance is happening can be a game changer. It pushes us to align our actions with our values, or at least be honest with ourselves about why we're not. The bystander effect. Next up is the bystander effect, a phenomenon that reveals a lot about human nature. It suggests that people are less likely to help a victim when others are present. Surprising, right? One famous case that brought this to light was the tragic story of Kitty Genovese in the 1960s. Reports suggested that numerous witnesses saw or heard her being attacked but didn't intervene or call the police. This incident spurred psychologists to study why people didn't act. They found that in groups, individuals often assume someone else will step up, a diffusion of responsibility. Plus, when no one else is reacting, people take that as a sign that action isn't needed. But here's the flip side. Just being aware of the bystander effect can motivate us to act differently. Next time you see someone who needs help, don't hesitate. Your action might inspire others to do the same. The halo effect. Let's talk about first impressions and how they can fool us, the halo effect. This is when our overall impression of a person influences how we feel and think about their character. For example, if someone is physically attractive, we might subconsciously attribute other positive traits to them, like intelligence or kindness, even without evidence. Advertisers love using this by featuring celebrities to make products seem more appealing. But the halo effect can also lead us to overlook red flags or misjudge someone's abilities. Being aware of this bias helps us take a step back and assess people more fairly, beyond that initial impression. Confirmation bias. Now, here's a big one: confirmation bias. This is our tendency to search for, interpret, and remember information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs. In other words, we love being right. Ever notice how when you have an opinion, you tend to favor news articles, social media posts, and even friends who agree with you? That's confirmation bias at work. It can create echo chambers where we only see one side of an issue. This bias can limit our understanding and lead to polarized views. To combat it, try actively seeking out different perspectives. Engage in conversations with people who have opposing views. It's not always comfortable, but it's a great way to broaden your horizons. The spotlight effect. Ever walked into a room feeling like everyone's eyes are glued to you, noticing every little flaw? That's the spotlight effect making you feel like a celebrity when you'd rather blend into the crowd. Psychologists have found that we tend to overestimate how much others notice and remember about us. In reality, most people are too caught up in their own thoughts to pay that much attention. In one study, participants wore an embarrassing t-shirt and thought that about half the people in the room noticed. In truth, only about a quarter did. So next time you're feeling self-conscious, remember that the spotlight isn't as bright as you think. Relax and be yourself. Flow state, optimal experience. Let's switch gears to something more uplifting, the flow state. This is when you're so immersed in an activity that you lose track of time and everything else fades away. Think about moments when you're deeply engaged, maybe playing an instrument, writing, coding, or even rock climbing. You're in the zone, fully focused, and it feels amazing. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi described flow as the perfect balance between challenge and skill. Too easy, and you're bored. Too hard, and you're anxious. Hitting that sweet spot not only boosts productivity but also enhances happiness. To find your flow, seek activities you're passionate about and that push you just enough. It's a fantastic way to enrich your life. The placebo effect. Onto the fascinating placebo effect, the phenomenon where people experience real improvements after receiving a treatment with no therapeutic value. In medical trials, participants might be given a sugar pill but believe it's the real deal. Amazingly, many report actual symptom relief. This isn't just in their heads, there are measurable physiological changes. This effect underscores the power of the mind-body connection. Our beliefs and expectations can influence our physical health. While placebos aren't a substitute for real medicine, understanding this effect highlights how important mindset can be in healing. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Last but definitely not least is the Dunning-Kruger effect. This is when people with low ability at a task overestimate their ability. Basically, they don't know enough to recognize their own incompetence. Ever watched a singing competition where someone completely off-key genuinely believes they're the next superstar? It's cringeworthy but also a perfect example of this effect. Conversely, those who are highly skilled may underestimate their abilities, assuming others find tasks just as easy. The key here is self-awareness. By seeking feedback and being open to learning, we can get a more accurate sense of our strengths and weaknesses. We've explored some incredible aspects of human psychology, from the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon making us see patterns everywhere, to the Pygmalion effect showing us the power of expectations, to cognitive biases that shape our perceptions. Understanding these psychological nuggets isn't just trivia, it can genuinely transform how you see yourself and interact with the world. By being aware of these effects, you can make more informed decisions, improve your relationships, and maybe even find a bit more happiness in your day-to-day life. So here's a challenge for you. Try to spot these phenomena in your own life. Notice when confirmation bias might be influencing you, or when the halo effect colors your perception of someone new. Share your experiences in the comments below. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you won't miss any future videos. Remember, the mind is an incredible thing, and the more we understand it, the better equipped we are to navigate this crazy journey called life. Stay curious, stay kind, and until next time, take care.